Come on, Doc. We know what you want to do. It's okay. It's okay. It's a safe space. You can dance here. All right. So joining us now to talk about some of the steps necessary for making the dancehall industry sustainable, former director, Institute of Caribbean Studies and senior lecturer in cultural studies, Dr. Sonjah Stanley-Niaah. How many people always... Why give us such a difficult task in calling your name?
I wanted to keep my father's name.
Sure. Morning, friend.
Good morning.
How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm good.
So if we're discussing how to make dancehall sustainable, we have already presupposed and hypothesized that dancehall is not.
It's having a problem.
Yes.
It's having a problem. We are correct because there is a degree to which people are questioning quality now. Quality in the music is something that is of concern. And of course, there has been a long-standing conversation about the association between dancehall, the music, and violence. In a society where we have high incidence of violence, concerns about things like, incest and pedophilia and all of these things that affect us, in my own words, to pathological proportions, we have some challenges. So quality of the music means that we're going to have to be socially aware about our context. And
who's in charge of quality control?
No, that's a big question and part of the answer to the question about sustainability of dancehall, because it starts really in a society where we have challenges. You're gonna have to start at basic school. And so the education system becomes implicated first and foremost. Clearly parenting as well, but the education system, children are spending 7 hours a day at school? And I've long said, like some of the elders in this music business, quality is king. Gussie Clark says that. But more importantly, if you have a system where, like we have a structure where sport is concerned, from you going to basic school, you are oriented to not just music education, but what is Jamaica's legacy in music?
Right.
Why every picnic in Jamaica don't know that? We still have children who are thinking that reggae was created in Trinidad. So education about Jamaica's legacy in music is important.
It's a question.
That's part of the sustainability.
Doc, it's a question I ask artists who come on the show all the while. Do you write a song that you think I should hear, or do you write a song what you feel the people want to hear? Does that make a difference?
It does, and I think that we have to allow for both of those things because, of course, artistic license, your own experience in the world and how that gets translated into a creative product such as a song, all of that is important. I mean, I remember people like, VC.
Yeah.
There are some one-hit wonders, and those songs come out of inspiration. Abijah, all right?
Yes.
Nobody wrote those songs for them.
Yeah.
And so we have to make space for that creativity. Where that creativity, however, becomes really dangerous is when we are feeding into, things that don't serve us. And as a society, there are so many things now that don't serve us. But there are some wonderful things, because we've just named some of the hits that have put Jamaica on the map musically.
So as end users, are we a part of the quality control problem?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, because when you go into a party and you hear music that you don't want to hear, send a message to the selector. And of course, there are ways in which this has been done. There are sound systems over the years that have made decisions about not playing certain music, and also, not being a part of certain trends. So Stone Love, for example, stands out as one of them in my own memory when I interviewed Weepo years ago. And there are even modern selectors who have made decisions about what they play.
Isn't part of the problem that a lot of people want to hear it? It's not so much about making your voice heard at a party about what you don't want to hear.
Simone, there are multiple ways, and this is what the technology has offered us. Multiple ways now to consume what you want to hear. If you go into a party, you don't have to hear what you choose to hear in your bedroom.
Go and go listen on Spotify.
Go and go listen on Spotify, go on YouTube, TikTok even. Now, if it is that we have the democratization of the consumption. It means that when you go to a party, I mean, you know, Sumfest becomes a really good example now because of all that happened last weekend. You know, what kind of content are you going to be producing for a show like that where there are stipulations now about what you can say on stage? And the irony of it is that when you go to Rotterdam Sunsplash in Spain, you follow the contract. You don't go up there and try and make any, you know, bones about who you are.
Yeah, but Dr. Sonjah, I come back to what I said earlier. I remember talking to Beres because one of his best songs to me was a slow song. And I said to him, why you never go there? And him said, I want to make money. The people them never want to hear that. So if I know, say, I want to be popular and the people them want to hear me and say something dirty, for want of a better word, I'm going to do that because it will make me popular, don't?
Yes, absolutely. And so, you know, the example of a yellow man, ask the crowd what you want, slackness or culture, the crowd says slackness.
Right.
Because there is something about us as humans. We want to go into the taboo zone. We always want to go into the taboo zone. But if you feed the people what they want all the time, they won't get a chance to understand that they could want other things.
Okay.
And so a diet, an entire musical diet of what is, you know, debaucherous or lewd or crude is not what we need.
Yeah. As you say that, let me change lanes just a bit. Agreed with what happened at Sumfest with the young artist who, I don't think he was pulled off the stage, but the word is that he was taken to a lockup. Yeah.
So there are two sides to that conversation. In Jamaica, those laws are now colonial. We need to repeal them, especially where you have police officers who are using that language when they're arresting people. So people who are there to uphold the law are also breaking that law. The second thing, of course, is that if you have signed a contract for a music festival, follow the contract.
Yeah. So if the
because
contract
when you go abroad, you follow the contract. So do the same thing, at least allow the same courtesies in your country.
Are you suggesting that you don't have a problem if a man go up on the stage and cuss one bag of bad word? Are you suggesting that?
If the contract says you can do that, do that.
If not, then
but
don't.
But if it's a family-oriented festival, which I think Sumfest is trying to advertise itself as, it can't be that we're going to get a diet of that.
Is it really?
Not unless you're going to be telling me bad words to make me feel like you love me. Because there are ways to do that.
I don't know if we would necessarily put Sumfest in a category of a family.
Family?
Yes.
Well, if there are no bad words to be used on the stage, you know.
You can be
No. Yeah, well, there was nothing lewd on the stage, nothing. Nobody, you know, jumping on top of, no sex, no, you know, no, it was more or less family friendly.
We have to wrap, but sustainability, are you worried about the future of dancehall?
You know, I'm not worried. I'm not worried because there's always something that comes to shift the tide.
Facts.
And I wait for that creativity. I wait for that moment. I remember those moments.
Okay.
So I have no anxiety, but I have anxiety for Jamaica.
Yeah. It's interesting what you said because we were watching Tanya Stevens on news earlier and she said, I can be disrespectful to you without using an expletive. But you are saying you can use a bad word and you mean it in almost an endearing way.
Absolutely. And we know that. Those adults of us who use those words in moments that are, you know, private.
Hey, look at the time. We gotta go. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you.
Me love it.
Clearly.
Me love it.
Great discussion. Thank you very much, Doc.
Thanks, my friend. Always great to see you.
I'm a director, Institute of Caribbean Studies, and senior lecturer in cultural studies, Dr. Sonjah Stanley-Niaah. We are back after this break. We're talking about diversity in schools. Soon come.
Me love it.